What's up, Disney Nuts here. How you guys doing? You can say today we're at Magic Kingdom and I want to show you a little trick that many photographers do, which is using your fisheye as an ultra wide angle lens. Is it possible? Let's find out. Okay, so when we talk about lenses, obviously each lens has its advantage and disadvantage one over the other. So in the case of the fisheye, even though it has that really cool effect, notice that you can't zoom in and zoom out like the ultra wide angle can. There are some models that you can do it, but eventually the price is, pretty high. So that's one of the disadvantages that you have using the fisheye. The second one of the fisheye, in the case of my fisheye, is that it's all manual, meaning that when it comes down to the focus as well as the settings like the f-stop, you have to do it on the lens itself. You can't do it through the camera. Obviously the advantages on the ultra wide angle, totally the opposite. You can zoom in, zoom out, a little bit of zooming in, not too much, and obviously you can set the f-stop through the camera. So you gotta decide, well, give and take what you want to lose and gain using the different types of lenses. One big advantage that I have here with the fisheye is that my fisheye is 6.5 millimeters. In the case of the ultra wide angle, it's 10. So just that alone makes me be able to get more into the frame. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna actually walk around here and take a couple shots with the two lenses, the fisheye and the ultra wide angle, so you guys can see how it looks with one lens and how it looks with the other. Let's take advantage that Cinderella Castle is here and we can take some photos of her. And let's go. So we made it to the entrance of the castle. Let's take a couple of shots here so you can see how it looks with the fisheye, the ultra wide angle, and applying the effect to it. You can see how cool it is. Another really cool photo you can take with doing this effect is actually on the sides of the castle, because you can get that really cool going up to effect, is like what I like to call it. And here we go. So if you're looking at this photo, you're probably thinking, why do the walls have numbers? Actually, this photos I actually took the first week that the parks opened, and they hadn't finished retouching Cinderella's castle, so they actually had numbers on the walls to know what colors and shades they needed to do. How cool is that? Another really cool thing where you can use this effect and it adds really cool to the photo is when you actually include arches. For example, I'm standing here in the backside of Cinderella's castle, and we're going to take this shot here, which is the entrance. I'm going to make sure we get all the arch and everything like that. I'm going to take it with the two lenses so you can see how it looks for you. Okay, now when doing these types of shots, you got to be careful when it comes to the fisheye, because if you can see, this side of the castle is closer to us than what this side is. And if we're going to take this photo with the fisheye, it's going to look great with the fisheye, but once we apply a technique to it, what's going to happen? It's going to look really weird because it's going to look stretched out. It's going to look like this. The next spot that we're going to use for a sample is right here underneath these arches. Now, what's funny of the arches, I always take a lot of photos from the one that's on the left side, even though I think the one on the right is better, because the one on the left has a light post, so sometimes you have to Photoshop it out. So let's go ahead inside and take photos from this arch. We got our photos. Let's head home and do the magic in the computer. So let's go. Let's go ahead and show you that little trick that I like to show people, which is how we can use our fisheye as an ultra wide angle lens, and it's basically using the option of lens correction when we're editing the photo. Now what the lens correction does is that all the lenses have sometimes, not all of them, will have some type, like edges that need to be adjusted and somewhat, to make it look somewhat as normal as possible. And these lens manufacturers work with Adobe to be able to provide that information to them which then when you bring your photos in the Lightroom, it'll automatically detect which is the lens correction that it needs to do. Okay, for example, here we're actually looking at one that was taken with my ultra wide angle lens, not the fisheye. And the reason that I know this is because the information of the lens is here on the top. Because as you guys know, when you shoot with the fisheye that I have, it doesn't have any, it's all manual, so the camera doesn't know what the settings are or what the f-stop is. In the case of the ultra wide angle, since it does, that information can be brought into the computer, and then when I come down here to the lens correction, which is under the develop panel, you'll see that as soon as I select enable profile corrections, you'll see how it automatically detects the lens. In this case, the Sigma 10-20, which was the lens that I was using, and you'll see how it automatically adjusts the edges to it, and it also gives it like a sometimes a little boost of the brightness. And again, each of these manufacturers work with Adobe to be able to put all this information in there. Now, in the case of the fisheye, let's go ahead and select this photo. In the case of the fisheye, you can see there's no information here that the camera knows what it is. So the moment that I turn on the enable profile corrections, it will not know what it is. Right now, it's actually selecting Nikon because I already selected this. But what it will do is actually it won't select any of the settings. You'll just say, I don't know what this is, because there's no information. So I'm just going to go ahead and put anything. So what I like to do is I come here and I turn it on, and then I look for the camera that I think that looks best. In this case, the Nikon fisheye I think looks the best here, and you can see how it automatically flattens it out a little bit. Now, yeah, it's obviously I'm forcing something that's not supposed to be done. And sometimes the edges are going to look a little blurry, but we can crop this out and we can still get a pretty usable photo, and something like this. And there we go. Now, to compare this with the ultra wide angle, I have taken the exact same photo that you guys saw in the video in the exact same location, which is this one. And I'm going to show you how it looks here. Once we turn off the lens correction, as you see, it's off. Go ahead and turn it on, and that's with the ultra wide angle. And this is with the fisheye. You can see, since the fisheye is 6.5 and the ultra wide angle is 10, you can see how I'm standing in the exact same location, how farther back and more we get in the frame with the fisheye. So it is a cool thing to do, to be able to take advantage of that, that the fisheye is at 6.5 and the other one is 10. Here's the one at 10. Here's the one at 6.5. So advantages and disadvantages, you got to choose, and again, use the weapon of choice depending on what you want to try to capture. Okay guys, so that's it. That's how you tweak that here with using the lens correction option in the develops panel, and that's how you use your fisheye as an ultra wide angle. Pretty cool, right? Okay guys, so that's it here from Magic Kingdom. Hopefully you enjoyed this secret tip of how to use your fisheye as an ultra wide angle lens. And if you do use this technique for some of your photos, tag me. I'd like to see how you're using it on your photos. Okay guys, if this is the first time watching these videos, my name is Disney Nuts, and I do videos like this from the parks as well as other places, as well as food reviews with my wife Gilda. So make sure you hit the subscribe button so we can keep on pumping out these videos for you guys. Until then, stay awesome. See ya. Bye.